Alright guys, today we're talking about compound sentences. You're going to be using your compound sentences on your sentence sheet for your project. So we're going to really focus on what a compound sentence is and how you're going to form your compound sentences. If you look at the top, it tells you that a simple sentence has one subject and one predicate. An example of that would be, I rode my bike to Dan's house. That's one complete thought. You rode your bike to Dan's house. Another example of a simple sentence is what we see underneath it. We rode to the park. Those are two complete thoughts. They both have a subject and they both have a predicate, but they're one complete thought. A compound sentence is when you take two simple sentences, two complete thoughts, and you put them together. You see right here that the compound sentence says, I rode my bike to Dan's house and we rode to the park. We put both of our simple sentences together to form our compound sentence. So that's what we're going to be talking about and focusing on today, is how to take two simple sentences and put them together to make one long sentence or a compound sentence. A compound sentence, again, is two complete thoughts put into one sentence. So before we move any further, I want us to see if we can identify a simple sentence and a compound sentence. So let's look at our examples 1 through 5. Number 1 says, bicycles are important to people in some countries. Is this a simple sentence or is it a compound sentence?
Simple.
It is a simple sentence. It's a simple sentence because it is one complete thought. It's telling you that bicycles are important to people in some countries. You can't pull that sentence apart and have more than one thought. It's just one thought. Let's look at number 2. People in some places do not have cars. Is that a simple sentence or a compound sentence?
Simple.
It is a simple sentence because it is one complete thought. One subject, one predicate put together to form one complete sentence. Let's look at number 3. They ride bicycles to work and they ride them to the store. This is an example of a compound sentence. You have two complete thoughts within this sentence. Your first thought is they ride bicycles to work. Your second complete thought is they ride them to the store. You have two complete thoughts, two complete ideas within that sentence. Number 1, they ride bicycles to work. Your second thought, they ride them to the store. Now, in order to take your two simple sentences and you form them into compound sentences, you have to add what we call a conjunction. It's a word that connects the two sentences together. In this sentence, our conjunction is the word and. And is a conjunction that combines your two sentences together. We watched a video the other day about conjunctions, and I taught you a phrase called fanboys. F-A-N-B-O-Y-S. Each one of those stands for a different conjunction that you can use within your compound sentence to form your compound sentence. These are the words that you can use within your sentence to put them together. As we identify them, I want us to fill out our fanboy word. Right now we have the A for and. So we know that the A in fanboy stands for what? And. So that's the first conjunction that we can use to put our sentences together. Now let's keep looking at our sentences to identify more compound sentences. Number 4 says bicycles cost less than cars, but they are not cheap. Is that a compound sentence or is that a simple sentence?
Compound.
It is a compound. You have two complete thoughts. Read the first complete thought within this sentence for me, class.
Bicycles cost less than cars.
Fantastic. Bicycles cost less than cars. Let's look at our second part of our compound sentence. The second thought or complete idea in our compound sentence is what?
But they are not cheap.
Well, it's they are not cheap. That's our next complete thought. So our first complete thought is bicycles cost less than cars. Our second complete thought is they are not cheap. They are connected by a conjunction. What conjunction do we have in this sentence that connects our two sentences together?
But.
The word but. So our B in fanboys is what? But. But is another word that you can use to combine two complete sentences. So we have and we have but. Now, I want you to look at this sentence. Number 4. What do you notice in our sentence that comes immediately before each of our conjunctions? What do you notice, Peyton?
A comma.
It has a comma. That is the other thing that you have to add to your compound sentence in order to connect them. If you're going to put two sentences together and connect them with a conjunction, before you add your conjunction, you have to add your comma. So, to connect the two sentences, here's your first sentence, comma, your conjunction, and then your second sentence. Let's see if that rule applies to every single compound sentence. Let's look at number 5. Bicycles do not make the air dirty, but cars do. How many thoughts do I have in this sentence? 2. The first thought is what? Bicycles do not make the air dirty. What is my second complete thought?
Cars do.
Cars do. You have two complete sentences within a compound sentence. What is my conjunction? But. It is but again. We've already put that in fanboys. What comes immediately before our conjunction? A comma. So this is a what type of a sentence?
Compound.
A compound. Now, I want us to practice forming compound sentences together. We know that a compound sentence are two complete thoughts, two complete sentences that we have joined together to make one. We know that we have to take a conjunction, a word that's found within our fanboys, to connect the two. We also know that we have to put a comma before our conjunction to form the sentence. That will make our complete compound sentence. A compound sentence has two thoughts, a comma, and a conjunction. So we're going to use all of that to form our compound sentences. We're going to do a couple of examples together, and then I'm going to have you try some on your own. Number 6 says, Chris rode a bicycle up the hill. It was not easy. Right now, do I have a compound sentence? No, I do not. I have two simple sentences. I know I have two simple sentences because I have a period and a capital letter. I have two complete thoughts, but they're separate sentences. So we're going to take these two complete thoughts, form them together to make our compound sentence. We always start with our first thought. What is my first thought? Chris rode a bicycle up the hill. Chris rode a bicycle up the hill. Now, I'm going to form a compound sentence. So I'm not going to end my sentence here. I'm going to connect my second sentence with my first. In order to do that, what must I add first? I must have a comma. There's my comma. Now, I have to add something else before I can add my second thought. What do I have to add? My but. What kind of word is that called? A conjunction. I've got to add my conjunction. This already gives us the choices that we can make. We can use the conjunction but, or we can use the conjunction or. In this sentence, which one would make sense? But. Chris rode a bicycle up the hill, but it was not easy. Now, am I going to add the capital I for the word it, like we have right here in our sentence? No, I'm not, because is this a new sentence?
No.
It's a new sentence. We're forming a new sentence, but are we forming another new sentence, or is this one continuing sentence?
One continuing sentence.
One continuing sentence. So I'm not going to add a capital letter because I'm not beginning a new sentence. So, Chris rode a bicycle up the hill, but it was not easy. End of my sentence always needs a what?
Period.
Some kind of punctuation in this sentence. It's a period. Let's practice one more before I send you off to do one on your own. Number 7 says, Chris skinned his knee. He bumped his head. Right now, I have 2 complete sentences. 2 complete simple sentences because they have one thought. The first one, Chris skinned his knee. The second one, he bumped his head. We've got to form our 2 sentences. To form our compound sentence, I start with my first thought. What is my first simple sentence? Chris skinned his knee. Chris skinned his knee. Now I'm going to make a compound sentence so that I know the next thing that I need to add in order to connect my 2 sentences is a what? A comma. After my comma, I must add a what? I must add a conjunction. For this sentence, I have the choice for the word but or the word and. You have to think it through. Use both of them in a sentence and figure out which one makes the most sense. He skinned his knee, he bumped his head. That's 2 things that he did that happened to him. So which one of these conjunctions could we use? And. Chris skinned his knee and. And what? He bumped his head. What kind of a letter will the letter H in he have? A lowercase because we're not starting a new sentence. And he, what? Bumped his head. Alright. Now, in just a moment we're going to tiptoe to our seat and I want you to do number 8 on your own. You may tiptoe back to your seat. So let's look at number 8 now. It says, now Chris can ride to school. He can ride to the park. Our first complete thought is what, class? Now Chris can ride to school. What comes after the word school? A comma plus our conjunction, which is going to be the word or. Finish our compound sentence, class. Or he can ride to the park. Period. Good deal. Let's read our compound sentence together. Ready? Read. Now Chris can ride to school. Or he can ride to the park. Fantastic. Great job. Today you have learned how to take 2 simple sentences and combine them to form a compound sentence. Remember, in order to form a compound sentence, you must take 2 simple sentences. Add a comma after the first simple sentence, add your conjunction, and then add your second thought. We'll practice more with this today.